Hi, Michelle. This is Misty. Thank you so much for reaching out about a reading. This that you see here, I will message you and you can kind of keep it for reference. This is like the cheat sheet. It has all your elements, modes, any like explanation of what you're looking at as far as aspects go. Hopefully, some of this is familiar, but just in case you want a different way to look at it, there you go. So looking at this, I was looking at what first stands out to me, and I see that you're heavy with your air element. So you're a person that has a very active mind, and you have a great ability to see the big picture of things. If you have a plan for an event or like a job interview, you're pretty good at seeing the bigger picture and getting the details out. You can play things through in your mind. If you haven't tried it, try doing that before you go to do something, because with all that air, you have a lot of ability to visualize, and then it's kind of like a map for what you need to do in situations because you've already planned it out. And you have a air is the communicator, so you have a real gift of being able to speak your thoughts and communicate with others, bringing others together through communication. So you mentioned that you're interested in a career. I see that your MC is in Aquarius, which is also an air sign. Your rising is in Gemini, which is an air sign. So your whole experiencing the world comes first through mentally and intellectually. You're able to free yourself of like past bias or personal experience or feelings of emotional relationships to people. You're able to free yourself of that and really experience things for what they are, which is really an awesome trait of a Gemini rising. They want to experience, they're just genuinely curious about things, and they don't they don't really compare it to past experience as much as other signs do. They like to have an open canvas and really take in new experiences wholly. It's also the sign of communication with another, and you have a gift of being able to say what you're thinking and even say what others are thinking that can't find the words for. Sometimes this puts you in a tricky situations in like coworkers positions, or maybe in school when you were younger, like with the gossip, because people know that you know things and they like to get it out of you. So there is a little bit of times where Gemini risings kind of have that put their foot in their mouth, like, oops, I said too much. I actually didn't need to share that information. But as you get older, you start to weed that out a little bit, and it's not as often that that happens. Your Chiron's in the third house, so maybe you did have an experience with that in the past of either spreading misinformation or misinformation was spread about you. Maybe you were the subject of bullying or gossip or just misrepresented by people. And what's the gift in that is that as you experience those painful things in your close encounters, third house sometimes is the school age. So whatever the gossip was, or whatever the bullying was, or misrepresentation, you're able to use that experience to then help others who might be in that situation later. Or you learn in yourself that you don't want to be like that. So it just makes you a better character. The moon is in Capricorn for you, so that makes me think that you're going to be naturally a little bit more reserved anyway, that you're going to have the ability to emotionally realize that less is more sometimes. So that's a gift for not getting caught up in some of the stuff that air signs get caught up in. Um, with the MC and Aquarius, I could see you being in a position where you're in charge of getting people to the point of things and working on like not being micromanaged. Like you could be in a position that maybe you work remotely. You don't have to go into an office every day. They know you're going to do what you're supposed to do. You might just want some kind of different type of setting. Maybe you don't want anything to do with like office work or a 9 to 5 or Monday through Friday. Like there's something about you that doesn't need like a tradition. You don't mind trying something new and something that's not popular, because sometimes the monotony of what everyone else is doing doesn't appeal to you anyway. This could also be a position where you do something on your own. Do you um, have like a quality that could be your own business? Could you be an independent contractor of something? Um, Sometimes the Aquarius MC wants to do something with like technology, so working in IT or on the internet, like having a blog or like a podcast or like being an influencer, like something to do with where you're on the computer and something that other people may not have to physically be in the presence with you, but you can communicate daily through some type of platform. So those are things to think about. Your sun in Libra is really this harmonious position between your MC and your Gemini rising. So it's nice because what you experience in the first impressions of you is pretty consistent with who you actually are. So when you're getting to know people or you're new on a job, people feel comfortable around you because they feel like they know you're genuine and you're not just full of it. Your first impression of yourself actually stands the test of time. So that's a nice quality to have. The Capricorn moon sometimes can make you a little less social. All the air would make me think that you're kind of a socialite, but with a Cap moon, that might not be the case, because that can be kind of a more isolated placement. So while you might be able to go to the party and mingle, when it comes to actually like relationships, like that deeper level of knowing someone, there's a little bit of a coolness to it. You're not as quick to just jump in and experience. You're actually kind of reverse. You're a little bit more, let me check this out. Let me feel this out. I might just be better on my own than getting into a relationship with this person. I'm not willing to completely let my guard down and trust another person that fast. I'm going to take this slow. The Capricorn moon is I'm going to take this relationship slow. I'm not going to show all my cards right away. You're going to have to wait and see with me, and I'm going to have to determine if you're really worth what I could give to this. And that's just how that moon plays out. And if you try to rush it or force it to be different, then it's just going to backfire, because Capricorn's ruled by Saturn, and Saturn just takes time and it wants a long term. So that's the only kind of discord I see in your chart, is that you're a lot of air, which is fast moving, fast thinking, fast doing, fast talking, a million projects at once. Go, go, go. I can take it all on. And the Capricorn moon's kind of like, I want something that's going to last. And I want something where I had to put work into it, that the longer I work on it, the better it's going to be. And it's your moon. So that's with your personal relationships. The longer you take to know someone before committing, the more you work on the relationship, and the more you pursue people that want long-term commitment, is where you're going to make your moon happy and feel more successful with your relationships. And let's see, your Venus is in Scorpio in your 6th house. So when you're in love, you're very love language of acts of service. You want to
be useful to your partner, helpful, and you like to show love through doing things for them. So you might like to cook for them, or like get things like clean, or like plan what you're gonna do, like show them that you're taking the time to show that you are serious about them and that they can count on you to do things for them. And Venus in Scorpio is more of a serious position too. So while you might come off lighthearted and real easygoing to people, when it comes to love, you actually, there's a different side of you. You want somebody who's going to fully commit, and you want it to last a while. And you're not just looking for like casual flings. You're really looking for the true love, which is beautiful and is great to identify with that side of you, and really keep that in mind when you're looking for somebody, so that you don't run into this like situation where you're, one side of you is rushing into things, and then you're just like, why am I not feeling fulfilled in this? Like, why am I not satisfied? Well, that's why, because you actually do want something deep, meaningful, and long term. So your descendant is Sagittarius. So the person that you might be attracted to might be somebody who like is wise in a certain area. You feel like you're learning from them. They're confident, they're outgoing, they seem fearless, adventurous. They are very spontaneous, and you feel like this sense of like freedom and joy around them. Like when you're with them, you're going to do something that you've never done before. They kind of like blow your mind sometimes. Like that's really attractive to you. It's an intellectual level attraction, and it's also like this inspiration and this like passionate feeling that you don't have a lot on your own. You're actually don't have any fire like planets or prominent energies. So when you meet people that do, you're just like, wow, like this person is so excited and like has not thought anything through. But that's like really attractive to me for some reason. I want to know this person more. So for you, it's not even like this physical attraction, like, oh, he's so hot or she's so hot. It's like this person has like this raw energy about them that it just like wakes you up and makes you feel alive and makes you think about things you never thought, or makes you not think about things. Maybe for you, it's that they turn off your mind and make you just do. They say, hey, it's midnight. We're going to just go skinny dipping right now. And you're just like, oh my gosh, I don't have time to think this through. They're leaving. That's really exciting for me because I usually think everything through at length. So it's something like that. That's the kind of person that will show you a side of you that you really want to experience that you don't normally experience. So look for people like that. They don't have to be a Sagittarius, but I would recommend some kind of fire. And then I would also would want to balance that with some kind of earth. So if you can find a fire sun and an earth moon, that would be really great for you, because then they have that long-term seeking potential too. And that commitment that you can really attach to, and they could give you everything in that situation, really. Now, when I recommend that, that's not that you need to rule out anybody who doesn't have that placement. There's always different things to look at, but that's just if I had to choose right now what it was, that's what I would say. Let's look at your Mars. So your sexuality and your passions too can be found in your second house. You might like to work towards making money, having things, being able to be generous with what you have with other people. So I feel like you have a lot of energy to get a job, work, get your resources, be secure on your own. And I feel like you're going to do that through a job that's maybe not a traditional job, or maybe you don't go to school like everybody else. Maybe you're like an apprentice somewhere, and it's like a different road to get to be successful. But don't be afraid of those, because that's actually going to keep you interested and keep your mind excited. You're too mental energy to just be like stuck in a box. You need to be the one thinking of like maybe even like advertising or marketing, something that you're like designing things. You're the one to think of what's the next thing. You're the one that's going to think of like, no, that's boring. We need to this. Like, oh, wow, I can't believe you could picture that. And you're like, I don't know. It just came to me. Like, your mind is just ready to come up with new ideas. And not everybody has that. So hone in on that. It could be like a graphic designer, something, just pushing the envelope and making other people leave their comfort zone. Like you're there to shake it up and get everyone out of this comfort and like bring in the new idea. Like that's what you're supposed to do. And you communicate it really well. So go for it. If you have an unusual idea, share it. Like that's what people need. And then lastly, I just wanted to say your fifth house is full, which gives me more reason to think that you need a fire sign in your life, because there's a lot of fun that you want to have, and there's a lot of creativity that you already do have. And I think somebody that could like really spark your passion, you'll just like see this whole other side of yourself where you're just carefree and going for it and really like feeling like you're living your best life. So, okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. And then I'm going to end it. Please let me know what you think or if you have any questions. Love to hear from you. Okay, take care.